17th of July 2025. Now I've just taken a pin, just an ordinary one you buy in the farm centres and the parts shops and the garages, and I heated it up and dropped it in water, got it red hot using a fire brick. Here it is, like this. I only have the tissue so you can see the different against the background, do you understand? So here it's here, see there, and I dropped it down into a bucket of water just there. You're dealing with hot stuff. So anyway, that should test it. Is it tool steel or is it not? Now, here's a bit of gauge plate. This is like silver steel, and this is old stuff. I find a lot of the silver steel now doubtful. This is tool steel. That'll make parts and everything. I used a good bit of it. It was 13 inches long, but I'm only showing it here. So now I've checked this here, and it is tool steel. It has hardened. So here's a half round file, and it works. Look at that. I can't file it. Sorry now, I know the camera. No. No, I won't file. And if I put the angle grinder, that's the spark test, and that'll tell you also. So the result of this little experiment, folks, is, sorry, I just have only one hand, please understand it, is that this is a standard pin you buy in the shops that sell tractor parts. I've cut this off for me component I have already shown you for the hay bob. But the bottom line is that's as hard as the hob of hell. That is hard, very hard. So it's tool steel. So that particular brand, I don't know what it is good. And in fairness, they never give much trouble. You see, when they make them hard, that would break now if it was left like that. That has to be tempered. In fact, if you came back in a week, you could find a crack in that. By right, that should be tempered, softened slightly, hardened and tempered to give it more ductility and toughness. But the test anyway is what I wanted to test is it cheap junk or is it not? Now, I have to say, I suspect some of the tractor parts coming out of India. Maybe I'm wrong, but I noticed they break off very easily. And they seem to file all right. So the way you really know what you have is you run a file on it or a hacksaw if it cuts it. Now, if it's tempered, the file will grip a bit. See there now, wait a minute now. Sorry. If it's tempered, the file will grip a bit, but that's not cutting. You know that squeak it makes? Now, not that it's totally incapable of being fine. Yeah, this end of it is a bit softer. Watch. And this is harder. See, it'll go. It's like, look at that. You can't cut it. This is a wee bit better. And the reason of that is that I had this end of it on the fire brick, and it mightn't have heated to the same extent with the gas bottles, with the cutting torch. You understand? So that's good. And that's biting a little, do you see? That's biting a little. And I'd say the reason of that is that this, either it didn't get the full heat, or it did get the full heat, and this dropped in first to the water and cooled it quickly, and maybe this heated the water and meant that it did cool it, but not as cold. The tempering process is, the hardening process is you heat it up until a magnet won't stick to it, until it becomes, till the carbon is dissipated through the iron, and then you cool it quickly in whatever way you want. Now, that's the hardening process. The tempering process then, the old way was you shine it up with a grindstone and you heat it, bringing the temperature up to a certain degree, removing some of the hardness and restoring some toughness to it. This file would be tough, hard, would be tool steel, or cast steel as it's known. Now, one of the examples is a coal chisel. A coal chisel, you need the top of it tough, but you need the shaft soft because you're walloping it. So they only harden and temper. They harden the tip about that far. And then they heat the shank, and the heat travels up, making sure it doesn't break off where it's a different type of steel. So that then gets it up, and when the colours are right, they quench it in oil, meaning that this is slightly toughened and you can wallop it. But the hardness is no advantage in the shank of the cold chisel or in the handle of it, because you'd only break it. If you battered that hard, it'd be as hard as the hammer. Do you understand? So now that's what I've learned from that. Another wee bit of useless information on the Vintage Workshop. Good luck. Thank you.